Now, Kenny and Egypt dated during one of the periods where she and Curtis had broken up and were not together. And word on the street was Kenny wasn't too happy that she inevitably got back together with Curtis, basically choosing Curtis over him. Apparently, he was really heartbroken when he learned that Curtis was going to be moving in with Egypt. While Egypt saw him as more of a placeholder, the kind of guy who would never actually settle down and give her what she wanted, she still tried to maintain a friendship with him when she eventually got back together with Curtis. They kept in touch. She still hung out with all of his sisters. But Curtis said recently that Kenny, her ex-boyfriend, had been overstepping some of the boundaries. He always seemed to appear at places Egypt and Curtis were at. Sure, Belleville was a small town, but it was getting to a point where Egypt needed to say something to Kenny. And she chose the town's annual Strawberry Festival that June as a place to do this. So Curtis told police that day, Egypt pulled Kenny aside to talk to him while they were at the festival. And while Curtis stayed out of the conversation, he could see the two of them yelling at each other during this conversation, and it ended with Egypt storming off. And while I don't know exactly what was said, I do know that 5 days later, Egypt was dead. Now, Egypt's sister, Beth, said she heard quite a bit about what went on behind closed doors with Egypt and Kenny, and it didn't look very good for him. She said that when Egypt wouldn't answer him, he would start calling and texting all of her friends to see where she was. And then as a way of being controlling and manipulative, he apparently slept with some of her friends while they were dating.
Oh, sick.
Just to get at her.
Nice.
There was a time when he got so mad at her that he supposedly punched a wall right next to her head. And apparently once at a wedding that they attended together, he shoved Egypt up against a wall after a fight.
Oh,
and people witnessed this. Now, the problem is Egypt never filed any reports about this alleged abuse, so there was nothing for the police to reference in that regard. According to Curtis, a month before Egypt's death, Kenny showed up at his house after Egypt had spent the night there, and Curtis saw him from the window as Kenny got out of his truck, peered in all of the windows of Egypt's car like he was looking for something, and then got back in his truck and drove away.